Hi, welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is the third attempt at episode 655. Let's see, I'm going to try it. Give me a second here. I'm going to try to share the link with the other one. Here's the link. Okay, so hi, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 655. I'm Kristen Amdahl, and we're here live in Southwest Florida in my beautiful tropical backyard. If you are joining me live, please say hello. I know there was a little bit of confusion this morning. I had scheduled a podcast and it froze. Hi Lily and Thea, YouTube just wouldn't let me connect and go live, so I've started another one, shared this link on the other thread, so hopefully you can find me still. Hi Joe and Constance, Kathy, Julie, Thea, Judy, Sharon, Olivia, Joe, Marcia, good morning everybody, happy Thursday. Hi Amrita and Donna. Hi Val. All right, looks like a lot of people found it. Wonderful. Hi, good morning Grace. Hopefully adding the link helped. Otherwise, hopefully you got notifications. Who knows? Um, well, yesterday when I mentioned that there was a storm coming, I said that it was still 4 days out. So the storms are not here yet, but that's the thing about hurricanes. We do get several days notice when something's coming. And yesterday I was just working under high precaution because after going through Irma 3 years ago and all the trauma around that, plus going through coronavirus since March, I just I was overwhelmed with anxiety yesterday about it. And yes, was it premature for me to stop everything and go hurricane supply shopping? Yes, but I just wanted to beat the crowds and get it done. And I've been through food shortages during Irma, and I've been through food shortages during coronavirus, and I just didn't have the emotional capacity to do it again right now. Does that make sense? Everybody's been through coronavirus since March, and yes, that was high stress, and those that live down here went through Irma, and people have been through all sorts of natural disasters everywhere else. But for some reason, it was all of it together that yesterday I felt like I had just reached my limit on risk, on taking risks, and I just said, that's it, I have to go do this right now because I'm not going to freak out about not having, about stores having shortages. So the storm may or may not come here. It may or may not even become a storm. What's the matter? Did you want to sit with me or no? No, not really. Well, just say hello real quick. Hi there, Becker Boo Boo. Okay, you can go. So I think it's a tropical storm now, and at the moment, I'm not sure it's even expected to come to Southwest Florida anymore. But my anxiety was at just the peak yesterday, and I just said I cannot worry about this anymore. I can't wait another day so that I struggle with finding water and canned goods and things like that. So we went shopping yesterday morning and the stores were plentiful and I was able to get lots of bottled water and lots of supplies that are non-perishable. So I feel like we are way more prepared. Plus, the last time were here for, if you recall, I think it was before I started the podcast when we went through Irma. And so we had the days leading up to the storm, and then we were out of power for 12 days. Well, I lived in a condo at that time and didn't have a barbecue, and I was several miles from the closest store, and it was just different than, so where I live now, I have a barbecue with propane tank that even has a side burner. Plus, I am walking distance to stores, so I feel like we are much better prepared for living, several days without power. So, and that's assuming that we don't have to evacuate. Anyway, it's hurricane season. These are things that if you live down here, you have to start worrying about now. So it's semi-normal, but it's just what we deal with. If you live in northern climates, you deal with ice storms and you deal with And if you live other parts of the world, you deal with tsunamis. There's something, or tornadoes. There's things to worry about in every part of the world. And hurricanes is just something we deal with here. So enough about that. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your heartfelt comments yesterday. It was so nice, and I appreciate it so much. And just so you know, I was just working under extreme caution yesterday. It was just precautionary measures. There is nothing serious going on here at the moment. But thank you all so much. And if you have any other questions for me, craft related or otherwise, please let me know. I am wearing the Sweet Clara cardigan today, and I'm wearing the sleeveless version, or the cap sleeve version, which is the yoke without added sleeves. And I've paired it with a jean skirt and a white tank top, just so you can see the whole outfit. I tucked in my tank top, and I think that, I mean, depends on what outfit you're wearing and I guess your mood. Today I thought that it looked cuter to have the tank top tucked in. The skirt is pretty high-waisted, so I thought that I thought the layering looked better with it tucked in today. Anyway, some days I don't feel that way, and some days I do. And sometimes I think it depends on the outfit, and it depends on the layer that you're wearing on the bottom. This is a yellow dress on the mannequin, and yes, I will get to that. I was going to show you some sneak peeks. Kathy, Kathy, I don't have any control over the sizing at Redbubble. I am sorry about that. I am trying to work with another company for leggings and stuff like that, and the new company is going to have a way larger size range. So yeah, I'm sorry about the limited sizes with Redbubble, but I don't have any control over that. But I am trying to figure out a new solution so that we can all wear leggings and fun clothes with my prints on them in a much larger size range. So working on it. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes here all the time, as you know. Always working on new designs, new ideas, and I have several projects that I'm working on right now, including this beautiful dress that I'm making in Be So Sporty yarn. So I think yesterday I showed you that I had a front and a back. Oh no, last time I told you about this one. I had made the front, then I was working on the back and realized I'd made a mistake on the front. Do you want to know how high up I made that mistake? Here. I had to unsee. Can you even see that? Let me see if I can lift it up a little bit. I want you to be able to see the lower skirt too. This is probably a really attractive view of my belly. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I had worked the front all the way through this beautiful edging and was working on the back when I realized I made a mistake on this one here. So I had to unravel the entire edging, the lower body, all the way up to here, and redid the front. So I've done these pieces 3 times now, pretty much. And since then, I've done the construction style like we did on the Thalia dress, where we worked into the end of rows and then created some chain mesh for joining. Although instead of joining them this time, I added chain ties because I thought that it would be interesting to lace up the sides of this top. I think it gives it a whole different look. And you also have more customizing abilities here. So you could cinch it tighter in the waist, you could cinch it looser in the top or the bottom, you could make the chain ties longer, and then you could also be able to adjust it if you are a yo-yo dieter and you gain 5 or 10 pounds sometimes and then lose 5 or 10 pounds. You would be able to adjust your size a lot more if you had chain ties instead of a fixed size. So it's an option. It will be an option in the pattern. So now, at this point, I am working on figuring out what I want to do for the yoke. I would like to make this something that you can make as a sleeveless top and also with sleeves. So how I would do the yoke if this was just going to be a tank top style is different than how I'm thinking about making the yoke so that it works for both a tank top and sleeves. So semi-back burnering this one. So after I joined these together yesterday, I had to set it aside because I'm not convinced I'm on the right track for the yoke to make it work beautifully for both long sleeves and sleeveless. So what I would do for one is not necessarily what I'd do for the other at my first thought, so I want to think it through a little more to make sure that I come up with something that works for both, or I will have to make two samples to do it both ways, and I really don't want to do that at the moment, so it's a semi back burner. It's not going to stay on the back burner for long because I want to finish it and wear it, but it's like a semi back burner. And so while it was being semi back burnered yesterday, I wanted to show you what I worked on. Is that in camera? I could scoop that. Yeah, middle burner. Yeah, middle burner. Semi back burner with middle burner. That's a good way of writing it too, of saying it too. Okay, so while I was putting that on the side yesterday and having lots of, you know, nervous energy about everything that was going on yesterday between the shopping and the weather watching and all that stuff, I decided that I thought, even though we did, okay, let me back up. So we did we held 3 strands together to crochet the Carrera Afghan, right? And I talked about multiple ways that you could hold 3 strands together. You could do chain plying with 1 ball of yarn at one time, and you could hold 3 balls of yarn at once, or you could or wind 3 balls together. But then there's another way of doing 3-stranded knitting or crochet, and that's with doing gradient color work. And I remember I had done a swatch in both Tunisian double crochet and in knit seed stitch when I was thinking about doing 2 Afghans. Well, I ended up not being excited about making a knit Afghan just because I made a crochet Afghan, but I thought it was a good opportunity to do one of the other reasons why we hold 3 strands of yarn together. So I ended up making, and I literally, from start to finish, I started it at 3 p.m. yesterday, and I finished it blocking, weaving in loose ends and blocking it all by about 10:30 last night, which is amazing. I made this chunky gradient cowl. How pretty is this? Its pattern's not out yet. It's still drying and no photos yet, so it's coming soon, but oh my God, right? So I started at the bottom here with watermelon, 3 strands of watermelon in Be So Baby yarn, and I knit a ribbed edge. Then I developed a stitch pattern that combined that rib edge with a spiral and continued on with 3 strands of watermelon. Then I switched to 2 strands of watermelon and 1 strand of bubble gum, and then worked a section. Then I switched to 2 strands of bubble gum and 1 strand of watermelon for this section, and then I switched to all 3 strands being bubble gum in this section, which gives you the illusion of a gradient yarn, but it's not gradient. You just pick 2 colors of the extensive color options in Be So Baby yarn. And so you can see up close, it starts with a 2x2 rib, and then I continue on in knit 2 purl 2, where we change the sequence so that it spirals. So it's still a knit 2 purl 2 rib, but it spirals for the rest of the project, and then we go back to the knit 2 purl 2 rib at the top. So this is a really generous size, which wait till you see how cute it looks on. And I did the bottom edge stretchier than the top edge so that it really works for a cowl. How pretty is this going to be for fall and winter when you need a pop of color, but you need a thick, cozy cowl? Like, oh, and it's completely reversible too. So if it turns on itself, it's no problem at all. It looks identical on both sides. So yeah, this is just, I love it so much. I haven't named it yet, but it'll be a new pattern in the next couple of days. And what I wanted to talk about twofold is that you can't do chain plying for gradient work in 3 plies of yarn, but it's the changing of the strands that gives you that gradient look, and it's the ability for you to custom make any gradient color combination you want. This is watermelon and bubblegum in Be So Baby yarn. You could do this in crochet also. You could do this in just rounds of single crochet and do the same technique of 3 plies of the one color, then 2 plies in one, then 1 ply in 2, and then 3 plies in the second color. The same technique would work for crochet as well. But oh my goodness, right? Isn't that beautiful? The color combination just makes my heart sing. Anyway, so that's why I wanted to bring out the color chart here and show you why I picked these two colors so that you can understand the how and why of picking two colors for yourself too. So, is this close enough? I may need to bring this closer. So I picked bubblegum and watermelon, which are two colors on the same color family column in Be So Baby yarn. Now, you could pick any two colors. You could pick any two colors within a color family. You could pick any two colors, contrast even. The gradient is more subtle when you pick colors that are closer together, and it is high. Oh, I've got examples. Wait 1 minute. I'll show you two more examples of this. A while back, we did this on the podcast in my studio where I showed you 3-ply gradient or 3 plies of yarn in gradient. This is the same technique as the cowl, but here's two other colorways so you can see the difference between sticking with one color family. Let's see if I can get that on. I make such a great display board, don't I? So these are two colors within the same color family, and you can see what a more subtle gradient that is than, I mean, these are the same color family, but they're higher contrast, right? Black to platinum is a higher contrast than bubblegum to watermelon. So both pretty, but different types. This is a higher contrast, and this is definitely more subtle. And then here's somewhere in the middle. This is olive and eggplant, which is definitely more subtle again. So pretty, right? And I think what I love about this is, yes, are there amazing gradient yarns out there that you can buy already done, and artists have done amazing color work making gradient yarns? Yes. But what about when you want to make your own gradient yarn? What if it's to use colors of somebody's favorite team? What a great hat this would be if you picked two colors that were for someone's favorite team. Like, okay, let's pick a team. Oh, okay, University of Michigan, maize and blue, right? What if you went with marigold and cobalt? Those would be fantastic. Or marigold, actually it's marigold and navy, I think. So you could do this for somebody's favorite team, sports or college alma mater, stuff like that. I think that would be a super great way for you to create your own gradient and create a custom hat for someone who has a favorite team or school or, you know, what have you. Are the other yarns as soft as, all my yarns are soft. If that's what you're asking, yeah, all my yarns are very soft. They're not all the same, they're different fibers, but the other gradients, oh, I don't know, I'm just saying there's other gradient yarns out there. I don't know how soft they are. Oh, hi Lisa, glad you found us. Glad you found me. I'm not sure I understand the question, but I can't speak for other yarn companies. Sorry about that. But I can say that my yarns are very soft, and making your own gradient is just a fun thing to do. I'm not saying that you can't buy gradient yarn. I'm just saying that to make your own custom blends is just something fun to do, that's all. I don't have it done yet, Shell Bell. I don't even have the chart written yet. But it's coming soon. Colors A and B, 3A, 2A. Yes, that's correct, Kim. And you can find those color sequences in this hat pattern. If you just want to understand the gradient, it's already written in this hat pattern. And I'll be explaining it again in this cowl pattern, but the cowl pattern, this is just a sneak peek today. It's something that's coming soon. I was just showing that yesterday with all my nervous energy, I actually made it in one day, which crazy and exciting, but also not super surprising when you're working with that weight of yarn and a 9mm set of knitting needles. That is something that moves rather quickly, even in crochet, or actually more so in crochet. You do something in 9mm and it goes pretty quickly. Like I said before, I think that I did this whole Afghan in about 12 hours. I think it was about somewhere between 12 and 15 hours of labor to make this giant Afghan in Be So Baby yarn, tripled with a 9mm Tunisian hook. So that's pretty amazing. But once you go into those larger, a larger gauge, things do move a lot quicker. So it is fun to have projects like that on the side, right? Does anybody have any other questions? Hi, Lashira. Hi, Judy. Thanks for posting links. I appreciate it. We can see if there's any questions. I know I talked about a lot today. What's the status of my books in other language? What do you mean, Shalbel? Yes, Karen, Be So Baby yarn is warm. I mean, it's not an animal fiber, it's milk fiber, but it's DK weight, and I think it's cozy, and definitely when you double and triple it, it's very, very cozy. Yes, Shelbel, people that asked for copies of the foreign language books, I did send them out. That is correct. Why don't I read from my books anymore? Annette wants to know. I just do different things. No particular reason. I just like to change things up. I don't like to keep things too repetitive. Okay, Susie has one of my knit dresses coming in black, meaning you're making one of my dresses in black? Okay, Shelbel, then it's possible I didn't get it, or it's possible it's still in the mail. If you want to email Judy or me after the show, we can look into it. I really can't help with that during a live podcast, sorry, but if you made a request, please email Judy after the show and we'll figure that out for you. Okay, and there was a question about a video, and I can't, let's see, let me find it. Or a question about a dress that I didn't understand. Let's see. See if I can find that question, because I didn't understand it. Okay, Susie has one of my knit dresses coming in black. What dress would you recommend in Be So Baby yarn and aquamarine? Oh, you ordered a black dress from my Amazon shop. What color dress would you recommend? In the Amazon shop, I'm guessing you mean the tank top dress that's long and fitted to the knees. If that's the one you're asking about, you're asking which dress would match color aquamarine in Be So Baby yarn. I'm not sure what would match, but I have the turquoise dress, and I like to wear the turquoise dress with turquoise colors. I don't mind if it's not a perfect match. I've worn the turquoise dress with this top, actually. What pattern do I recommend? Okay, what pattern do I recommend? I really don't understand the question. I'm sorry. You're talking about an Amazon dress and talking about a pattern and Be So Baby yarn and aquamarine. I'm not sure what dress pattern would I recommend in Be So Baby yarn. I do not have a dress pattern released in Be So Baby yarn right now. I do have one coming soon. but it is not released. They're, yeah, I guess that's my short answer, is that I don't have a specific dress pattern released in Be So Baby yarn yet. But I do have one coming. Thanks, Judy. Judy just posted a link to all my crochet dress patterns that are available right now. So if you want to browse those, they may or may not be in other yarn weights, and you may have to decide if you want to. Sorry, I got a piece of ice in my mouth. You may or may not want to decide if you want to, substitute different weight yarns for different gauge, but that's entirely up to you. But there are several, and I'm assuming you mean crochet patterns. I don't recall if you said knit or crochet patterns, but that is a link to all of the crochet patterns on my website. Just a quick reminder also, if you go to either the crochet pattern shop or the knit pattern shop, I've now organized both of them with lots of filters. So at the top of the page, if you want to not scroll through all of the patterns in either of those shops, you can filter by dress or shawl or scarf or hat to narrow down that large body of work to specifically the type of project you're looking for. One of the things that I think is very helpful on there is the filter for what weight yarn you like. If you're looking for projects in Be So Baby yarn, you can do the filter for you could do the filter for number 3 DK weight yarn, and then it narrows it down to all patterns in that specific weight yarn. Or you could obviously look at things by type of project as well. Let's see another. Oh, I'm glad that's helpful, Kim. Hi, Gabriella. Oh, that reminds me, I wanted to do, what do you guys think about me making a video and coordinating blog post to remind you of some patterns? So, I have hundreds of patterns, hundreds and hundreds of patterns, and I thought it might be fun to make a blog post and video where I pull together, I don't know, 15 cowl patterns to crochet, just so you can get a reminder of the photos and the patterns and which ones have videos and which ones have yarns. Would you guys like those kind of reminders? Because I thought it might be fun for me to do the legwork for you and do all the organizing. So, hey, here's 15 cowl patterns to consider for your next project, that sort of thing. And do it for shawls, and do it for knitting, and do it for crochet, and maybe just make one blog post and one video a week of just combining, organizing all that stuff into one spot. Would that be helpful? Oh boy, I'm seeing lots of yeses. Yeah, I just feel like we live in a world full of so much white noise, right? And we're always being inundated with so much information that it's very easy to forget that you like something and wanted to do something, right? You can see something once and go, oh yeah, I love that. And then see something else sparkly and forget all about that. So I thought if I do the organizing work and so I'll put together the video where I'll talk about each project and show photos of each project, and then it'll refer you back to a blog post on my website where you'll get to see where the pattern is, where the tutorial video is, and what you'll need to make the project. So I'll include anything else you think should be in there. So I'll include where to find the pattern, where to find the tutorial video or videos, and then the yarn and hook and needle requirements and the sizes that would be available. But okay, I'm seeing extremely helpful and lots of exclamation points and lots of yeses. So okay, great. There's no point in me doing all that work if you're not interested, and I don't want to inundate people with more white noise if you're not interested. It's one thing if it's something you want, it's another thing if it's not. So I don't have the rights to the patterns from my book, Crochet So Lovely. I might have the rights to those patterns. I don't have the rights to Crochet So Fine patterns yet. It's still being published. Oh, someone just downloaded Sweet Clara pattern. Oh, wonderful. I love my Sweet Clara tops. I have made this pattern so many different ways. I've made Sweet Clara pullover, short cap sleeve, long sleeve pullover. I've done Sweet Clara as a dress. I've done Sweet Clara as a cardigan, and now as a vest without the sleeves as well. I've made so many what is that, 5? Yeah, I have 5 Sweet Clara tops. Thank you, Lisa, and I know a lot of you have made more than one as well. It's a great pattern. It works up so beautifully in Be So Sporty yarn. I think Be So Sporty yarn is a wonderful weight and drape, a wonderful yarn for wearables. I think Be So Fine yarn is my favorite for shawls, and Be So Sporty is my favorite yarn for garments, and then Be So Baby and DK Weight is my favorite for accessories, like cowls and hats and bags and stuff like that. Those would be my 3. And then tripling it for chunky projects, I think is just opens up a whole new world with Be So Baby yarn. To be able to triple a yarn and create a whole different weight, that's so exciting to me. Hi Renee. Hi Barbara. I think I missed some names. Hi. Thanks, Olivia. I also, are all the 3 that I just mentioned are different patterns, Kim. Yes, it's different instructions for the pullover and the cardigan. That's correct. The edging is not the same on the crochet dress as it was on the Giada. No, they're different. The body is the same. So part 2 of the shawl is similar to the body on the dress. I mentioned that when I released the Giada shawl. I said I was so in love with that flower bud stitch pattern that I created for the middle section of the shawl that I said I would be making a wearable in it. And so the top body of the yellow dress is that stitch pattern, but the edging is different. Hi Trina, good morning. Hi Austin Craft Corner. Hi Jill. Well, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed all the show and tells, chatting with me and everybody else. Lots of great questions today, everybody. I hope I was able to answer your question. If not, I'll do my best after the show. As far as I know, Crochet So Fine is still in print, Olivia. I have not heard that it's been discontinued yet. When it does, it reverts back to me and I can release the patterns then. Which, that's a whole other subject for some of the other books, and we can talk more about that tomorrow, because I would like to get your feedback on that. I've got lots of ideas for the great patterns in my whole body of book work as well. But thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. Thank you all for the wonderful comments. It's so great to have this interaction in a live stream. And thanks for your patience with popping over from the previous live this morning. It's always something, right? Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.